What is up, everyone? Welcome to the finals of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons July 2025 tournament. We got the top decks in the room to show you, so let's get into those deck lists. First up should be no surprise because we covered his match in the semis. It's Ryan on 4-color Oath. This deck is kind of like a traditional Oath of Druids deck in the fact that you're running 4 Terrors and 4 Oaths, but you're also splashing for a lot of good flashback cards. Now, notably, this is not a quiet spec Oath deck. That's a little bit of a tongue twister because we're not actually running quiet spec, but we are running a lot of the flashback payoffs because Oath of Druids does put a lot of cards in the graveyard, and being able to play spells from the graveyard just is so much extra value for this deck. That flashback package includes not only the usual 3 Call of the Herds, but also a Roar of the Worm, a Volcanic Spray, which we saw used to great effect against Elves in the previous round, a Rave Revelation, and a Deep Analysis. Beyond that, it is pretty much like a normal Bant Terror deck. We are running only 1 Armageddon because we're also running 2 Cataclysms, 4 Swords to Plowshares, 4 Mox Diamonds, 3 Sylvan Libraries, and 4 Mana Leaks. As this is a 4-color deck, even with Mox, the mana base is a little funky. We have 3 Gemstone Mines and 1 Undiscovered Paradise, 2 Treva's Runes, 4 Treetop Villages, 1 Yavimaya Coast, 2 Adarkar Wastes, 4 Windswept Heath, 2 Forests, 2 Plains, and the deck even finds room for some interactive lands with 2 Rishadan Ports and 4 Wastelands. In the sideboard, we have 1 Exalted Angel, the 2nd Volcanic Spray, Naturalize, Seal of Cleansing, 4 Meddling Mages, the 2nd Armageddon, 1 Enlightened Tutor, 1 Cursed Totem, 1 Krosan Reclamation, the 2nd Ray Revelation, an Aura of Silence, and a Phyrexian Furnace. Overall, a really cool list. This is something that Ryan's been tweaking for a minute, so it's exciting to see all that hard work paying off. But before we get into the games, we got to see who he's playing against. Returning to coverage all the way from the quarters is Wyatt on Red-Green Goblins. We've also already talked about this list on coverage. Make sure you go check out that match. It was a doozy. But this is the Red-Green Goblins deck that everyone knows and loves. You got your 1-drops with Mog Fanatic and Goblin Lackey. You have 4 Goblin Pile Drivers, 4 Gem Palm Incinerators, 4 Goblin Matrons, 4 War Chiefs, 4 Ring Leaders, 4 Siege Gang Commanders, and one of tutor targets are Script Prospector, Goblin King, Goblin Tinker, and of course, Goblin Sharpshooter. The deck also runs 2 main deck Naturalizes. As for lands, he's got 8 mountains, 1 forest, 3 wastelands, 3 Rishadan Ports, 4 Karplusan forests, and 4 wooded foothills. In the sideboard, he has 3 Pyroblast, 3 Pyrokinesis, 3 Tormod's Crypts, the 3rd and 4th Naturalize, a Hull Breach, a Tranquil Domain, the 2nd Goblin Sharpshooter, which is a little bit of spice, and 1 Anarchy. Obviously a very strong list, although it is always interesting with creature-based lists facing against Oath of Druids decks. Sometimes the Oath of Druids decks have the edge, but Goblins can just be fast enough to get underneath any big Terravores. So should be an interesting match. Let's get into the games. And here we go. The finals of the July Premodern Monthly are underway. Ryan is on the left, Wyatt is on the right. Both no stranger to the coverage table at this point, both having taken down at least 1 monthly prior. I believe Ryan has at least taken 1 down and Wyatt has won 2. And looks like Wyatt is on the play. Both players keeping, just going to go for a Mog Fanatic start and pass. Pretty classic. Not quite the Goblin Lackey start he'd hoped for. And luckily for Ryan, because all he has is a Treetop Village and pass. I don't think he had a Swords up. So very fortunate there. Lackey would be backbreaking. Mog Fanatic going to get in for 1. Wyatt shortcutting here, fetching for another mountain. Say go. Now the Oath deck has lots of ways to deal with little creatures. Volcanic Spray being a good answer to a lot of Wyatt's stuff. But Cataclysm, especially with 2 in the main, is the real deal. So Wyatt already setting up for a very big next turn. And Ryan playing it a little on the slow side with a 2nd Treetop Village pass. So 4 coming in here. No War Chief action happening, so a little less damage. Okay, there's the Lackey. and another Fanatic. And next turn is going to be a little rough if Ryan cannot piece something together. Okay, we're tapping 2 for a Volcanic Spray. Okay. This is a very good answer. Of course, Wyatt gonna sack both the Fanatics to deal 1 apiece. And unfortunately, the Pile Driver does have a toughness of 2, so it'll survive the spray. But a 3 for 1 is not bad. And I can see maybe why Ryan kept this hand. Both players know what the other is on at this point. It's been pretty clear. There's a Skirk Prospector. Both players having been on camera as well definitely adds extra attention. Oh, there is an Oath. Does Ryan Oath here? I think maybe that's a good call. Yeah. Wyatt only being on 2 lands is pretty nice, especially since I think he just drew Naturalize and does not actually have the green source. Alright, getting in for another 4 here. And we get to go spin the Oath. There's a Terror very early on. Not what you would like to see. That is only a 4/4, mostly thanks to the 2 fetch lands Wyatt cracked at the beginning. Draw for turn here. Now, holding up a Treetop Village could be good. I do see a Call the Herd in Ryan's hand as well. That might be better long term. But a little tough to tell. Okay, we're tapping 2. Go flashback, Volcanic Spray. Hit the Skirk Prospector. And all players. I forgot the Volcanic Spray also does hit all players. Ooh, there is a Gem Palm in hand for Wyatt. He's gonna sack it for a red to cycle the Gem Palm, and yeah, unfortunately I don't think it works quite the way he wants. But just gonna shoot the Terravore anyways just to see a card. I think he goes 1 damage off of that being relevant. The Terravore being a 4/4 was very good. Okay, there's a fetch land and just a pass. So Ryan choosing to leave his life total a little intact. Not fetching here, not growing the Terravore, which I think is fine. Okay, animate the Treetop Village. Ryan's turn to start getting aggressive. Gonna swing for 3. I think you crack the Wasteland here, right? I mean, it does grow the Terravore, which is unfortunate. We're gonna play land for turn. Darkheart Waste. That does potentially represent Swords mana, and Wyatt can only pass here. Not finding playable cards. It looks like he's 1 off the War Chief. Actually, no, he can cast War. He just doesn't want to trigger Oath at this point, I think, is the main thing. He's looking for a green source. He does have the Naturalize in hand. And now it's Ryan's turn to get super aggressive. He's gonna fetch here. Go to 5. Grow the Terravore to be a 5/5. And Wyatt does have the decision point if he cracks this Wasteland on the Treetop to take 8 or 7. And choosing to take 8, it looks like. Down to 5. Both players at 5, and Wyatt needing to potentially go for it here. Unfortunately, Ryan does still have a treetop village up. I think Ryan's in the tank still. He hasn't played a land for turn, I believe. Okay, we're going to tap 3 for a second Terravore. And that gemstone, it does hit the bin. And Wyatt just cycling the Gem Palm. I don't know if he drew off the Gem Palm. He must have. Alright. Hits a Gem Palm with the Oath trigger. That needed to be like a Siege Gang commander to have any real shot. There is the green source finally. So he must have drawn that. Or maybe that was what he had in hand the whole time and he didn't have a naturalize. No, he has a naturalize too. Okay. So he has the land he can play out. Naturalizing the Oath of Druids at this point doesn't do anything. It's a little too late. And Wyatt just doing some math to figure out if he can swing through a Terravore. Now, he does have the War Chief, so he's looking at lethal damage if there wasn't an untapped Terravore. With the War Chief and the Gem Palm Incinerator, that's 4 damage with the Terravore blocking the Pile Driver. And it looks like Wyatt cannot get there, and we're going to go to game number 2. And here we are in game number 2. That game 1, much closer than I think Ryan maybe realized. I mean, being at 5 very quickly is never good, but that swing in with the Terravore could have been enough to really lose him the game. But luckily, Wyatt just 1 damage off there, or unfortunately, depending on your point of view. But that's what I mean about the Goblin deck. It's very strong, it's very fast. Okay, looks like both players are going to mulligan here, and we'll cut to when they have a keepable hand. Okay, we are in mulligan number 2. Wyatt has kept 6. Ryan is looking for a keepable 5 here. I do think the deck does mulligan fairly well. Really just wanting an Oath and a couple of lands. He definitely has the lands and a Terravore. And a Mox, and that might be it. Oh, and a Volcanic Spray, that's also fairly relevant. Just deciding what he wants to put back. Keeping a Mox in a mold to 5 is a little dangerous. You know your opponent has brought in their other 2 naturalizes, most likely. Alright, Wyatt starting us off. Again, not a lackey start, but still a 1-drop start. And Ryan gonna do the same thing as before as well with a Treetop Village and pass. Gonna get in for 1. There's the Foothills. Say go. No turn to play from here from Wyatt. And it's looking like maybe... Yeah, I think maybe Ryan did actually put the Mox Diamond back. Pitching a land. Not super. Actually, no. Does he have it in hand? I thought I saw a glimpse, but I don't know why you wouldn't just power it out. I mean, now his Terravore is a 1/1. Okay, here we go. Goblin War Chief and Fanatic getting in for 3. The Goblin Engine is online. Yeah, if you play out the Mox Diamond that turn, you do get to hold up your Treetop Village as a blocker. Which is not a lot, but it is a wall, and Ryan's deck is really trying to stall for time. Okay, there's a Wasteland on the Karplusan Forest. Getting rid of the green. Do we Mox here? Yes, okay. Mox Diamond, pitching the runes. And then there is a Terravore. 4/4. And yes, Wyatt did have the naturalize in hand. Go 3 mountains for a ringleader. And oof, that is a bad hit off the ringleader. I'm just going to say go after that. Now, the nice thing is, unless Ryan can get another land in the graveyard, he doesn't actually have a good attack here. And also just has to pass. He is holding up a mana leak, though. I do not think Wyatt has seen blue from the deck yet, so may not be expecting it. There's a Gem Palm Incinerator. Can't be countered, because it is a cycle ability. And then there's the Mog Fanatic, and that is unfortunate for Ryan. Both of those not spells that can be countered. The Terravor will die. And Wyatt gonna get in for 4. Play a land, say go. Now, Ryan was really hoping to slam a land and then a Cataclysm here. Oh, he's trying to decide if he wanted to block here. Yeah, before... Okay, yeah, Wyatt deciding he did not want to swing in. A little bit of retconning there. Ryan going to gain some life back. Maybe just a little bit too distraught at his Terravor dying, but I think he just drew another one. No, it's a Sylvan Library. Okay. Still not a bad draw. Assuming he has a land, he can still hold up Mana Leak. All the goblins being cheaper, though, are a little troubling. Okay, we are going to naturalize the Mox Diamond here, which will get Mana Leaked. Not exactly what you want to be spending your Mana Leak on, but considering Ryan did not hit a land this turn, very relevant. A little bit of outside assistance there from the judge on the life totals. Alright, there is a much better ringleader. 4 for 4. Fanatic, War Chief, Skirk Prospector, and Siege Gang. There's a mountain for Mog Fanatic, and this is looking much more like the goblins I know. Alright, Ryan at 9, potentially facing lethal next turn. No pile driver on the board yet, but that doesn't rule it out. Alright, Gemstone Mine here for a Treva's Runes. I think this is where you fire off a Cataclysm and just try to slow things down. Yes, he does get to keep one goblin on the board. Yes, it's probably the War Chief. But he does lose all his lands. You still have a Treva's Runes and a Mox Diamond. Functionally ahead. You're at 9, I think. This is the call. I believe Ryan has come to that same conclusion. If you're not going to Cataclysm now, then win. He will take additional damage from the Mog Fanatic, but a 4 for 1. Actually, it's much more than a 4 for 1. Yeah, this is the reason why that card is in the deck, in the main. Exactly for this kind of aggro matchup. So everyone gets to keep an artifact, a land, and a creature. And enchantment, I believe, too, but nobody has enchantments, so. Okay, it looks like Ryan will keep his Treetop Village and Mox. Wyatt will keep a land and a War Chief, makes sense. Untap, go to his turn. And keep the threats coming, swinging for 3. Alright, there's a Wasteland, I believe, for Ryan. Yes, okay. And say go. Does have Treetop up now. Oh, there's a land, though, so that's another War Chief. I'm assuming. Unless he wants to do some Skirk Prospector sacking. Nope. Alright, all goblins are too cheaper. Skirk Prospector could sack itself here. Okay, we're gonna animate the Treetop Village. Take 3. Down to 2. There's a Gemstone Mine. Ryan in a bit of trouble here. If Wyatt finds any playable goblin that is lethal currently. Alright, just gonna pass. There's a land. You just sack the... Oh, yep. He's got a ringleader. Yeah, that's lethal. But we're going to go through the motions. Nope, we're packing it up. And Wyatt takes down game 2. And here we are in game 3 of the finals. Always great when a match goes to 3 games, especially the finals of the monthly. Both decks have gotten to do their thing with pretty great success. And now it all comes down to this. Ryan on the play for the first time this match. And it looks like Wyatt will be mulliganing and Ryan will be keeping, so we'll cut to when Wyatt has a keepable hand. Wyatt looking for 6 here. I mentioned how both decks mulligan. I think the Goblins deck does mulligan pretty well. There's a Tormod's Crypt. Some more sideboard tech being brought in, no doubt. Sideboarding with Goblins is always a little tricky because it does make your deck worse, but you do need to be able to deal with a busted draw like a Mox Diamond to a Wasteland. And Wyatt gonna have the same opening he's had the last 2 games, Mog Fanatic, which will get swords and will get shot back at Ryan. Alright, there's a Sylvan Library. Say go. No second land here from Ryan. Mountain for Wyatt. Say go. No turn 2 play from Wyatt. Piledriver staying surprisingly absent in this matchup. I think we've only seen it in game 1. Usually the arguably best card in the deck. Okay, Sylvan Library resolving here. Ryan only drawing 1 card. There's Gemstone. Tap for 2 for a Meddling Mage. What do we name? Gem Palm Incinerator, maybe? Alright, there's a Goblin Matron. Gotta find a War Chief. Say go. I'm gonna untap here, activate the library, and have a look at what's in hand. Now, a bit interesting here in game 3. Seeing the Meddling Mage means that Ryan most likely took out his Oath of Druids, which is a very interesting sideboarding mind game, I guess, because Wyatt, again, his deck gets progressively worse with every non-goblin card he puts in there. He most likely brought in the Naturalizes and the Oath, or and the Tormod's Crypts. So that's functionally 4 cards that are not goblins, in addition to the 2 Naturalizes. Alright, there's a Call of the Herd. Most of which Ryan now does not really care about. I mean, the Naturalizes do hit the libraries and the diamonds and stuff like that, but Ryan is now playing more of just Bant mid-range. He does still have Terror. Okay, that Oath, or that Crypt will fire so that we don't get another 3/3. There's a War Chief. There's the Piledriver. Same with everything, and I'm sure that's going to be easy block trading the Elephant with the Piledriver. Yep. And take 3. Of course, this is the first time that Wyatt's seen the Meddling Mage, which is the only other creature that Ryan really has access to. I mean, he does have the Exalted Angels too, or 1 Exalted Angel. But Wyatt doesn't know that. So if there was a game 4, it would become, again, another mind game of, did Ryan put the Oaths back in, take the Meddling Mages out, Or is he still just playing good value mid-range? Because again, the Terror Warriors are still in the deck. They're still a good card in this matchup. Both players having a lot of fetch lands, land destruction. Obviously, Ryan's still running the Cataclysms. I'm assuming he's still running at least one Armageddon too, just because his deck is built to function around that. Alright, trying to decide here on the Sylvan Library. Is going to take 4 to draw a card. Okay, must be some good cards, or at least a fetch land. Mix things up. There's a Plains. Or just wanting to dig a little bit deeper, deciding that this is the point to do that. Gonna tap 3. Maybe tap it slightly differently. Okay, Wasteland the Karplusan. Gemstone goes to the bin. And there is the Terravor I was talking about. So Terravor is a 3/3 currently. We have a Meddling Mage as well. There's another Pile Driver. I mentioned not seeing them for a while, and here we go. 2 in one game. And I think... okay, we'll block like that, I guess. Terravors will trade with a Pile Driver. Meddling Mage still sticks around. I have to imagine that Meddling Mage named Gem Palm. That is the only thing that makes sense that has not been played out yet. There's an Exalted Angel for Ryan. If that hits the board, I think it's pretty much over. Wyatt would have to generate a ton of goblins and get rid of the Meddling Mage in order to overcome that 4/5 lifelinker. Sorry, pseudo lifelinker. It is a triggered ability. Old school lifelink. Now, Ryan does need another land to make this work. Probably doesn't have one in hand, otherwise we would have seen it. Maybe deciding if he needs to take another 4. It looks like he is. He's dropping to 2. There's an Adarkar Waste. 3 for a face-down creature. Say go. There's a Rashadan Port. Siege Gang. Siege Gang resolves. That's a lot of goblins. Swing with everything. Is there a Swords? Nope, that's going to do it. And Wyatt is your July Premodern Monthly Champion. Those were some great games. Congrats to Wyatt again, and a great showing of the 4-color Oath deck from Ryan. If you made it this far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel yet if you haven't already. Those are the 2 best ways to support what I'm doing, and it doesn't cost you a dime. However, if you haven't subscribed for a while and you do want to financially support the channel, consider joining the Patreon. You may notice all the wonderful patron names displayed on screen currently. Those are my current patrons. All you guys are amazing. If you'd like to join them, link is in the video description or displayed on screen. As little as $1 a month gets your name up here with all these great folks. There's also additional perks like a Patreon only section of the Discord, and we're working on a few other things. But yeah, really, all you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Money from the Patreon goes towards gear upgrades and travel expenses, as well as just helping me make more videos in general. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.